All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And what an interesting 24 hours it has been. And it looks like it is officially over as per David Ayer's tweets on Twitter that his cut is never going to see a release. And we're going to look at some stuff here today, and if what we are reading and what he is saying is true, it is time to officially call it and say that James Gunn is a habitual liar. We have Gal Gadot, who in the past has said he had promised her this and it never happened. We have him doing this in numerous places where he has promised somebody something and then taken it away. And it looks like it has happened again. And so we're going to look at what David Ayer had to say on Twitter and what this actually means for the DC universe going forward. So the first photo that I have here today is in regards to this actress. And I'm not even going to try to say her last name, but her first name is Phoebe, and she was up for the role of Lois Lane in Superman Legacy. And I don't remember if she was one of the ones that we had talked about in the past. But this is what this says. It says, it was a whirlwind, and then I realized that it was over, but it was great. She saves Superman. She's the brains. She's actually the fearless one. Now, I posted about this on Twitter, and it is my most commented Twitter post ever. And I thought it was really funny to watch people implode. Now, I took this as maybe she's saying that that she had a chance to see the script, and that she was that for the character of Lois Lane, that she's actually the real hero of Superman Legacy. And I just simply stated on Twitter that this may not be a good look for Superman Legacy, in the fact that she's the one that actually saves the day. And people piled on top of that post, calling me all kinds of interesting names, and saying that Lois has always been a strong female character, and she has. That she has saved Superman many times, and she has. My whole point in that post, number one, I knew it was going to rile people up, which is always fun to see. And boy, this one riled people up more than anything I have ever posted. But at the same time, this is a concern for the film, and I think it's a good concern, the fact that they have been pushing women to be the actual hero in just about everything. And this comes off the heels of my Star Wars post yesterday and how they're changing everything. And then even with the MCU, they now call it the MCU. And I'm going to talk about that in a video I'm going to do later today in regards to the MCU, because I just finally watched Hawkeye getting ready for this new Echo show that I think premieres here in the next couple of days. And so there are some things that are going on, especially with Disney, and hopefully this does not spill into the DCU. But I have a concern about them making the women the real heroes in everything, which is not going to be the case and shouldn't be the case when it comes to DC. There is already Wonder Woman and plenty of other true female heroes, and that doesn't mean that Lois can't save him during the film, but she cannot be the main star, the main hero in the film. And that's what the point of that post was. But it was funny to watch people just explode over that, and it was hilarious. Now, I talked about Nerdotic when it came to Nerdrotic, when it came to the Rebel Moon and their review and calling the whole thing woke. And somebody posted this, and I grabbed a picture of this and thought it was interesting. So back in 2020, when they talked about release the Snyder Cut, he said, "Love it when the fans win. It's so rare these days. Well done to everyone who made release the Snyder Cut happen. Warner Brothers did the right thing. Congratulations to Zack Snyder. Looking forward to it." But then Rebel Moon comes out. They didn't agree with the movie, and so now they just posted on the 1st of this January, "Please, Rebel Moon, please don't release the Snyder Cut." It's funny how people change and people flip. I'm always going to be for the directors having their vision seen. And this is going to trail into the whole thing I'm going to talk about in regards to David Ayer. But I find it funny how these YouTube people and these people who have these channels kind of just flip on a dime. And I don't understand that. And I guarantee you guys, I'm always going to be 100% genuine on my channel. I am never going to apologize for the things I do. If I ever make a mistake, I always correct it and always will. But I'm never going to flip on something just because it's the thing to do. A lot of these channels are just hating on the movie just to hate on it. Whether you liked it or not, it doesn't matter. Everybody is piling on to show the more hate for this movie than I've ever seen before for a film ever. And it's not justified. All right, so let's talk about David Ayer here. Somebody asked him, what's the change of mind? Was it because of James Gunn and the new DC regime? And this is about him releasing his Ayer cut. He goes, nothing about the situation feels good, meaning the studio is not in his corner at all. He goes on to say exactly what I'm talking about. Studio has no interest in releasing it. It's time to run and not look back. That right there makes James Gunn a liar because David Ayer, so one of two people was lying when this statement was made. And I don't believe it's David Ayer. David Ayer has always been a stand-up guy, okay? In the past, he came out and somebody asked him about the Suicide Squad cut, and he came out and said James Gunn said he's interested but wants to wait until they have a couple of wins under their belt. And now he's saying the studio has no interest in releasing it. It's time to run and not look back. And how dire is this situation? Well, let's take a look at a later tweet. So somebody said, wait, you are not going to fight about your cut anymore? Sad. And he said, nope, done and done. Very sad. You'll be fine after a good cry. I feel healthier. It's a wound that needs to heal. And so this tweet here goes to show you about Gunn and the lie. And it said, and Gunn told me it would have its time to be shared. The interest in his cut is being shown and seems real organic. And he goes on to say that he absolutely deserves to launch his DC universe without more drama about old projects. And Gunn told him it would have its time to be shared once they had a couple of wins. And this person pointed out that, yes, Gunn lied again, and he did. It's either him or David Ayer. It's one of the two, and I tend to believe it's not David Ayer. So the next photo I have here talks about Matt Reeves' Arkham Asylum series, which is going to be set in the DCU, not in the Matt Reeves universe. This is the one that Matt Reeves is going to be producing, and it's going to be in the DCU in that Batman universe instead. And they said it will be a horror with a haunted mansion vibe to it. Now, I don't know what they mean by haunted mansion vibe. This almost sounds like the story that Ben Affleck was going to do when he was going to do his Batman film. Do they mean the Disney Haunted Mansion? And in that case, that sounds like comedy. But it's going to be more of a horror. So I'm not sure what is meant by this statement exactly. I hope it's more straightforward that it is horror with a haunted mansion vibe, but I hope it is not based off of Ben Affleck's script that he had. Now, flipping back over to David Ayer, I present these things to you guys in the way that I grab them. But somebody asked, do you want us fans to continue fighting for it, though, David, or is there no point right now? Feel like something has shifted behind the scenes. Anyways, this month is all about the Beekeeper from here on out. Then see how things are looking after the film. And that's when somebody asked him this after he said, nope, done and done, very sad. You'll be fine after a good cry. I feel healthier. It's a wound that needs to heal. So somebody was asking that. And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this here in a few minutes overall. Today on my channel, I did do a post about these Batman and Superman animated series figures that I have from McFarlane. These are my favorite figures currently from McFarlane. I really like these a lot. In fact, I wish the new animated Superman or Batman animated figures they were doing were in this same type of packaging. And because the new ones, the new Batman has some cell shading on it that I really don't like. I wish it was more in the vein of this. But I'm looking forward to getting all of the Batman animated series, and I hope they eventually do Superman, the animated series, as well. All right, guys, so here are my thoughts on this whole David Ayer situation. He's ready to move on. He's tired of fighting the studio, you can tell. He's had interviews. There's videos all over Twitter today where he's talked about his cut and everything. But in the end of the day, the studio owns his cut. They have no interest in ever showing it. And the problem with this here is if they ever show it, it's going to show how inept Warner Brothers was yet again. They did it with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it would happen again with David Ayer's Suicide Squad. I'm hoping one day I get to see it. I really do. I'm one of those diehard DCEU fans. A lot of people are trying to call me a Snyder shill, and that's the DCEU was not just Snyder, guys. It never was. It's about all of these people getting their projects to be seen, and David Ayer got bent over just like Zack Snyder did. And I hope one day I get to see his cut. I really want to see what we were supposed to get. And again, this is another situation where it shows that the studio has ripped gold and pulled the rug out from underneath the fans. Again, I mean, this has been happening for years, and they don't care about the fans. They're clearly looking for a new audience, not the old audience, a new audience of people who really don't care about these characters. So it's a shame to see. If I didn't have my YouTube channel, I would be boycotting everything going forward. But I will be reviewing everything as it comes out, and I will be 100% genuine in my assessment on whether these projects are good or not. But it's really crazy to see what's happening with Warner Brothers. They have no interest in going backwards at all. They only want to move forward, and only with the stuff that James Gunn is in charge of. That's it. It's all about James Gunn here on out. All right, guys, so there's my update for the day. I still have hopes that this will see the light of day at some point, but it's not going to happen under Warner Brothers Discovery, and it's not going to happen under David Zaslav. So I'm still going to continue to advocate for it, but we can't expect to see it with the current regime down there at all. All right, so what do you guys think about this situation? I appreciate all the support. We will see you on the next video.